Good morning, everyone. Scott Earhart here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. First and foremost, thank you guys so very much for taking time out of your day to join us. Really do appreciate it. I think that today will be probably one of the better presentations we've gotten to take a look at in quite some time. Today, we're going to look at two new indices that Athene launched today. Very excited about this, some very innovative um, index design here. And in order to take a deep dive into that, we've got our RVP from Athene, Mr. Mac Campbell, on the line with us. Mac, can you hear me?
I can, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you very much for taking time. I know it's going to be kind of crazy around there today with everything that's going on, so we appreciate you taking time for us. Before I hand this over to Mac, we're going to go through a couple housekeeping items and then a few quick introductory slides, and then we will get into the meat and potatoes of today's presentation. First housekeeping item, and probably the most important thing you'll hear out of my mouth today, is in the top right hand corner of your screen. That's our phone number. That is 800-255-5055. If there's anything we can do here at IAMS to help you with life or annuities, please do not hesitate to give a call. We'd certainly love the opportunity to help you in with your business. Second housekeeping item, I'm going to launch two polling questions in the presentation today. If you would please be so kind as to participate in those. We really do appreciate everybody's joining us in those polls. And then last housekeeping item, we're going to throw quite a bit of information at you here in a relatively short period of time, so I'm sure there are going to be questions. Mac, and for that matter, all of Athene do a great job of being as transparent as they possibly can be. I know they want everybody to have a great understanding of these index options. So please type in any questions you have. When we get to the end of the presentation, we'll do the best we can to get them all answered here while we are live and in session. And that being said, let's get into some introductory slides here. First thing I want to talk about are IAMS Business Builders. Two programs that we offer to help put dollars back in your pocket and help you grow your practice. We'll start with the Referred Producer Program. Our business here on the wholesale side of the industry, very similar to yours there in the field, and that one of the best leads we can ever obtain is a referral from one of our valued clients or you, our valued advisors. And with that, we want to make it worth your while to refer individuals to us. So when you refer a producer to us, they pick up any license through IAM, we're going to send you a $50 thank you check. Where the real money comes in is as your referred producer writes business, you'll receive a 20 basis point override on that business. Our ownership group cuts those checks at least quarterly, and they sign checks for thousands and thousands of dollars at a time, so it can be very, very lucrative for you. If you know of anyone that would benefit from doing business with us here at IAMS, I'd certainly love the opportunity to chat with them or have someone from my staff chat with them. So feel free to type their information into the questions box when we call to follow up. Certainly let us know who they are, or if you'd like to email me directly, feel free to email me their information at scott@imsinc.com. Moving on to marketing reimbursement, which is far and away probably our most popular, not far and away probably, it is far and away our most popular program. Rough numbers on that, every $100,000 in fixed indexed annuity premium you place through us, we put $100 into your marketing reimbursement account. Now, what makes this program so popular is we really put very few restrictions on that marketing money. We're not going to tell you that you're capped out at a certain dollar amount. We're not going to make you cash it out at a certain time. And we don't put any real restrictions on vendors that you can utilize. Basically, all we're looking for with this program is to be able to partner with you in growing your practice. So if you've got an outside vendor that you've had success with, we just want to help you utilize them more. All we ask is you send us a receipt or an invoice from your marketing expense. We'll cut you a check, hopefully same day, to help you offset that cost. If you have any questions on marketing reimbursement, please let us know. Love to answer them for you. So updated new producer builders. This slide is going to be geared towards individuals who are new to us here at IAMS, or if this is your first introduction to who we are here at IAMS. This is all based on your production within your first 180 days of being licensed. Great levels to qualify at, as you can see, 5 that are shown there. Inside of each level, you get some great options. business building tools, personal perks, possibly even cash rewards available to you. So if you have questions about new producer builder or what we can do to help you get to a level um, that you want to be at, let us know. That's a great conversation to be having. Back office support. This slide is truly the heart of who we are here at IMES and how we were founded, some 33 years ago now. That subheadline there, we help you work smarter, not harder. That's really what we're here to do. We do that with great business building tools and resources. You've seen a couple of those tools just in the previous slides, resources like daily webinars, great tools to help you have the knowledge and the resources you need to grow your practice. Case design assistance and life and annuity quotes or illustrations. We've got a lot of experience here on our marketing staff, whether it be life or annuity side, and we're committed to helping you get the tools you need to close business, if that's illustrations or full out case design. And we're going to make a commitment to our advisors that we're going to have that to you within 24 business hours. Um, very important to get you the tools you need to close business, and we definitely want to help you do that. We also want to help you close business with getting you the proper forms you need in a timely fashion. We can put those at your fingertips. You can obviously, if you're looking for Athene paperwork, you can go to Athene.com because we appoint our advisors direct to carrier. You can call us at 800-255-5055 or go to IMESinc.com and possibly download or request those forms that are needed. We'll get them out to you, email, shipped, however you need them. We'll get them to you very quickly. Submission to commission support. This is all about our new business team. Amber Williams heads up our new business team. We've got an entire team that's dedicated solely to helping you submit business and process it through as quickly as possible. So we'll scrub apps, we'll submit them for you, and then we'll handle all the back office support of tracking them, following up on them, helping you get commissioned as quickly as possible. Amber and her team do such a great job with that. It's very impressive. What I tell you is if you haven't used our new business team before, next piece of business you write, you utilize that team. There's no cost to you. It doesn't take anything out of your commission or anything of that nature. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how swiftly your business will move and how much time you'll save on the back end not having to act as that administrator. Top sales expertise and coaching. We've got sales coaches throughout the country that are here with us at IMES. They're producers with IMES, and they're committed to helping us grow our practice, and they do that by helping other advisors grow their practice. So if you're looking for a sales coach or just a mentor is probably a strong word, but a, a business attache almost to help you possibly take a new perspective on what you're doing or give you some tips on how you can take that next step up. We've got those individuals here for you, and they'd love to chat with you, and we'd love to introduce you guys. Also, paperless contracting. We are on the Surance Bay platform. We all that have been in the business any length of time remember the pains of filling out individual licensing agreements. That's gone. We're going to ask you to fill out one licensing agreement. We'll get you uploaded onto that platform. And then, down the road when you want to add on a new carrier, all you have to do is let us know that carrier. We'll click a button for you. You'll get an automatic email. You approve that email, done. Process is started. Very simple. Chris Mount, our licensing director, is a great resource. If you have any questions about the Surance Bay platform, please let her know. Creative marketing solutions. Probably one of the coolest things that I think we do here is we have a full in-house creative team, whether that's web development, graphic design, anything in that realm, we can do for you here in-house, and they're very talented individuals. We do have a ton of turnkey solutions that are ready for you. Pre-made marketing that all we do is input your information onto it. We've designed it for other advisors in the past, and they've seen success with it, so we now make it public. Speaking of putting on your contact information, we can definitely help you with solutions for your branding and agency, logo design, business cards, brochures, anything of that nature. I'll tell you, if you haven't created a consistent brand and customized brand, I think you should take a look at it. IMES can do that for you very inexpensively, and the consistency of that is going to help you with your name recognition, things like that. It will pay long-term dividends for you. And then, of course, digital solutions, online marketing, really, really, big sector of our business and a growing sector of our business and how to market. We can definitely help you with that. Website design, website revamps, email consulting, newsletters available online, social media consulting. We can certainly help you with any of that. If you'd like to chat with someone about how IMS Creative can help you, give your sales director here at IMS a call. They'll drill down with you what you're looking for, get you out the information you need, and we can certainly get our creative team up and running and working for you. Our website, I know I mentioned this earlier, but imsinc.com. I definitely tell you go out and take a look. A lot of great stuff available to you there. If you aren't registered, as soon as we're done, go out, create an account. You're going to see a lot of great things there. Term quote engine, annuity quote engine, sales tools, forms online. Uh, the Firelight platform is available, so you can do e-apps directly through the website. Uh, E&O coverage. I know a lot of people are renewing E&O this time of year. We've got our partnership with Locked in Affinity out there, so you can get quoted for your E&O if you need it. Product grids, all sorts of great stuff. Sales resource library. I don't have enough time to list off everything that we make available to you, so I definitely tell you to get registered at imsinc.com and take a look. Retirement Analyzer. One of my favorite things that we offer to our advisors is the Retirement Analyzer. I'll tell you this, if you're not looking or not utilizing a software to help you uh, document why you're making the recommendations you are, I'd tell you it's something you want to take a look at. And the reason why we utilize Retirement Analyzer is not only do I think it's a great holistic planning tool to help you uh, and help your clients understand what they're doing, I think it helps you close more business. I think it's a great closing tool because it's very, very easy for clients to understand, very plain language, very colorful graphs, and it will show your clients exactly how much longer their money will last in retirement or how much more they'll be able to accumulate by implementing the products or strategies that you're recommending. Marcus Solar in our office is our point man with Retirement Analyzer. So if you'd like a free trial of it or some more insight on how it works, just give him a call here in the office. He can certainly walk you through how it can fit into your practice. IMS Wealth Management. As I talk about IMS Wealth Management, I'm going to launch our first poll of the day. And basically, what we're asking here is if you'd like to learn more information. When you click yes on this, you'll get an automated email just with some overview information. And then you'll get a follow-up call from Mike or Sarah in the IMS Wealth Management office to kind of walk you through what it is we do. We formed IMS Wealth Management coming up on 3 years ago, and we've seen a lot of great growth with it. And we're really excited about that. It's been quite a fun ride. And we formed it to really help our core advisors, the insurance advisors, expand their practice into AUM. So we've got great training partnerships if you're looking to obtain your 65. We've got a great platform as far as the investment goes, and then some really cutting edge technology to make it very, very appealing for you, the advisor, and your clientele to utilize this service. We've seen a ton of organic growth with it, and we're really, really thankful to everyone that's partnered with us there. Where we started to see some really, really massive growth is we've seen other IARs, show interest and move blocks of business to us because of some of the things that I've just mentioned, like the technology and the investment platform. And beyond that, our fee structure is very, very attractive for both the client and you, the advisor. That being said, if you have interest in learning a little bit more about IMS Wealth Management, we'd love to be talking with you. Please go ahead and click yes, and we'll get moved on from this poll. All right, thank you, everybody. Moving on, I'm going to launch 2 polls back to back, and then we're going to be done for quite a while with polls here. And what I'm going to ask you in this poll is if you'd like more information about one of our upcoming excuse me, life and annuity academies. And this is very timely because we have just started accepting applications for our next academy, which will be in early May. And we are lucky enough to be hosting it again with Athene Annuity. And Athene has been a great partner to us on many of these, so we're very excited about that. What we do in our academies are they are all expenses paid, so we pay for travel, lodging, everything there. We will fly you in on a Wednesday, have an evening session that night. We'll do a full day Thursday. We'll do a morning session Friday, break right about midday, and hopefully get you back on a plane and home in time for dinner is our goal. What we do in these academies are we'll bring in all of our department heads from the office here. So you will meet Jacob Tedlock, head of IMS Creative. He'll talk about everything that the creative team can do for you. Amber Williams, the head of new business, she'll walk through some streamlining practices for you and what we do to help advisors with their submission to commission support. Curtis Hawks, the head of our life team and chief marketing officer, be there to go through some great concepts with life insurance and how we help advisors differentiate themselves in a crowded market space. I will be there. I head up the annuity department, and we'll chat about some different concepts and things that we do. Of course, we'll have Athene there to talk about some unique things that they do with their products and marketing. And then what I think is probably the coolest thing about what we do at these is we're going to bring in several of our sales coaches that I mentioned earlier from throughout the country. Now, to be a sales coach with IMS, not only do you have to talk the talk, but again, they walk the walk. They are the upper 1% of commission and fee earners in our business. So you get to learn from top producers in the industry what it is that they do on a daily basis that makes them so successful, and take that home with you and implement it in your own practice. So very, very valuable information there. That being said, I would be amiss if I didn't open up Mac's microphone here and ask him for any commentary he'd like to add. Mac and Athene, again, have been great partners to us with several academies over the years. Mac, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. I appreciate the opportunity on this. So if you've not been able to attend one or have not, I would urge that you would do so. From my perspective, and to Scott's point, we have partnered with the folks at IMS on many of these over the last several years, and it's always a great time. It's always great content. And again, from my perspective, working from the carrier point of view, I love bringing producers into the office. Gives you guys a chance to kick the tires on how we operate as a company. You learn more about us. You meet the people processing the business, which is, I think, always helpful. You see the folks at IMS. But I think just as important, or frankly more important than that, is what occurs in the downtimes as well, right? There over the meals, over the breaks, over the cocktail reception or two that we'll have. You learn a lot from one another. There's a real collaborative atmosphere that IMS fosters at these events. And again, I would urge you to contact them if you have not attended one yet, to get your name on that list. I know they're limited, so the earlier you get your name there, the better opportunity you have to get there. So again, Scott, thanks for the time there.
Hey, thank you for the partnership, Mac, and as always, thank you for the kind words. That being said, I'm going to close down this poll, and we will get moved on here. Okay, now we're going to talk about fun stuff, and then I'm going to give it to Mac. Baja Oasis, still qualifying for that. This is an IMS exclusive event in partnership with Athene, so all of your Athene production counts towards this. We will be going to the Montage in Cabo San Lucas. That is an actual picture of the resort you can see in the background. If you're familiar with Cabo, you're familiar with riptides, this is the only swimmable beach in Cabo, and it is private to the Montage. This is a beautiful, beautiful facility. Qualification will go through the end of June. So we're really looking forward to having a large group there. We'd love for you to be part of it. Mr. Campbell, anything to add before I go on to more fun slides?
No, Scott, I just every time I see that picture, I get just amazed. So yeah,
Okay.
please, happy to partner with you guys on this one. It's going to be an amazing event.
Fair enough. Looking forward to that. And we, at the same time, are qualifying for the IMS Marketing Summit. We will be in Puerto Vallarta at the Secrets on Puerto Vallarta Bay. Very excited about this. Qualification for this goes through the end of December. One thing to remember on this is every dollar you write through IMS with Athene now qualifies you for both escapes, both our large marketing summit and the Baja Oasis, the IMS Athene partnership. So great opportunity to get um, a lot of sun, a lot of beach in your life through your Athene production. And also, the Elite Summit will coincide with the Marketing Summit. This will be an extension for the top producers. Their qualification period is the same. If you have any questions about any of the excursions that we're currently qualifying for, please let me know. Love to chat with you about it. We do have some standings that are updated through the end of December. I should have standings updated through the end of January here within the next couple of weeks. That being said, I'm going to give control to Mac now for a deep dive into these indices. Mac, you should be getting control of the screen here shortly.
Great. Scott, I think I saw the screen pop up. If you wouldn't mind, just let me know if you can see the index information slide, and if you can hear me okay, that'd be great.
Yep, I can hear you, and we can see the slide.
Okay, great. Well, thanks again for the introduction, Scott. Always a great job. And thanks to all of you that are joining us on the phone or on the web or over your laptop or mobile device. This is, I'm excited to deliver this content to you. You know, we at Athene, if you're familiar with our portfolio of indexed annuities and a few fixed annuities as well, you know that we've got a complete portfolio. Right? Whether you're looking for accumulation, income, legacy, protection, you'd be hard pressed to not find a solution with us for one of your prospects or your existing clients. It's to that end that we look at how we can continue to innovate our portfolio, and we believe, and hopefully you have seen and experienced this over the years if you're writing with us. If not, you'll see that very quickly when you write with us. We believe that providing innovation as it relates to index strategies is where we like to hang our hat. And we think we have a tremendous complement of both 1 and 2 year designs, mostly uncapped, that allow your clients to earn value, whether it's income or accumulation or legacy, and really a whole host of different market environments. And it's with that in mind that we're going to talk maybe the next 15 to 20 minutes about 2 of the new additions to the portfolio that are launching literally today. So if you log on to Athene Connect, you'll see all new information. We'll have websites supporting both these indices up and running very soon. Marketing collaterals there. Rates are already out there and established as well. These 2 new indices are being added to the entire Athene national portfolio of indexed annuities. Before I get into the mechanics, we're not going to dive too deep. We're going to give you the general framework of how they work, why they're designed the way they were, and I think what their return profile that you can expect. I think that's important as well, and where they fit, if you will. I think we have to talk about what was the genesis behind this. And the reality is, with these 2 new additions, you've likely seen over the last several weeks or even a couple of months that we've actually sunset a couple of indices. And there's 3 that are going away effective basically today. One is the traditional S&P monthly cap. The other one is the Morningstar strategy, and then the final one is the Janus SocGen. Now, each of these are being eliminated for different reasons. We'll start with the first one, monthly cap. We think that's an antiquated design, frankly, and we believe we've got a new version of that that works better within an uncapped framework, if you will. So uncapped strat, or rather the monthly cap, not getting a lot of utilization there, so we're sunsetting that. The Morningstar just wasn't performing. It didn't have a ton of use, but more importantly, it wasn't performing the way we had thought it would. So rather than keep it around and provide underwhelming performance, we decided to eliminate that as well. The last one, which is probably the surprise to many of you on the phone that have sold it, is the Janus SocGen. That was one of our better selling strategies, across all the product lines, whether it was accumulation or income, or even in the new agility or the newer agility product as well. The reason we're sunsetting that was a capacity problem at the investment bank. Societe Generale We basically, in other words, there's too much premium going into that strategy. And we had a tough choice to make. The choice was we could continue to offer it for new clients buying our new annuities with us. Had we done that, however, it would continue, the size of the premiums going in would start to lag on the existing performance of that strategy. So clients that have already purchased it would see their performance start to not fare as well. Instead of doing that and offering it moving forward, we're closing it off for the people that already have it. What we've done is preserve the performance that they should expect to receive when they bought the thing. So again, the people that already have it, they're not losing it, whether it's Performance Elite or Accumulator or the Ascent Pro. They're always going to have the ability to go in and out of that as long as they have the contract with us. It's just simply not available to new contracts and new premium. So again, I think when you hear how these two new indices work, I think we've more than made up for what we have lost from a new premium perspective. So again, existing clients unaffected. They can go in and out, and again, they should see some great performance there over the course of their contracts, whether they're accumulating or going for income. So with that, let's just take a quick, not a step back, but just a quick review, I guess. Why you look at an index strategy 20 years ago, or gosh, even 15 years ago, or even a decade ago, and you look at one today, and it's night and day, right? They look very different. There's different moving parts. There's different terms, right? We've got volatility control, a lot of new uncapped opportunities. We think there's a ton of value in this space, right? We think that the days of the annual point-to-point cap, well, yeah, it's easier to talk about potentially, but caps aren't great. I mean, Scott and I were talking before this call started. Just when we thought the 10-year Treasury was going to crest 2, it took a major step back last week, from the coronavirus fears, right? So we're not out of the woods here yet, and low rates require companies to innovate and get creative so we can continue to provide value. So if you look at what are the values of these alternative indices? Well, really looking at it from two perspectives, right? From the consumer, they've got greater choices and flexibility. They can choose from indices that are designed to react differently in different market environments. Some have multiple asset classes. Some are 100% equity only. They can diversify. They can choose, ideally, you have a product that offers all of these, right? So they can have not just one index, but several, all at one time. A better growth potential, we believe. We've seen some tremendous returns via these new alternative indices that we've had in our books over the last several years. And then again, renewal rate transparency, right? I mean, that's a huge topic. I've been at Athene. I just crossed my 18-year anniversary, and it's crazy to hear me say that out loud. It kind of sinks in and tells me how old I'm getting. But renewal rates have been important since day one, and even more so now with interest rates low. Clients are wondering, I signed up for X. What am I going to get, down the road? And not to isolate a specific product, but I will for a minute. The Performance Elite, we've issued, since that thing started, almost $5.5 billion of Performance Elite premium over the last several years. It's roughly about $1 billion a year minimum on our books. That's new every year. So thank you all for that as well. Since that time, all $5.5 billion, any premium dollar that has been exposed or participating in an uncapped participation rate strategy, we have renewed those rates at 100% of the time of what they issued at. That means a lot. I think that allows these unique strategy designs allow us as carriers, they offer stable hedging costs. Clearly, there's differentiation there from normal strategies, but ultimately it provides more consistent performance and allows us to give you rates to deliver to your clients that look good out of the gate, but remain good during the life of the contract. So that's why we see these alternative indexes or indices exploding really over the last 6 to 8 years. Now, there's a very deliberate process that we go through when we develop new indices at Athene, or perhaps we partner with people or investment banks to help us do that. It starts with trying to isolate the top intellectual talent and property that we believe in, right? and then ultimately to bring diversity, right? We don't want to develop a strategy that is just a knockoff of something else we already have. That would cannibalize sales. It would not make for a great partnership, frankly, with the investment bank. So we want to make sure that when we develop strategy and they help us do that, that we can deliver the premium that we all want. Also, great terms are important, right? I mean, we want to strike great great terms with an investment bank because that allows us to provide better rates to the clients and ultimately better performance. And then the last thing is great support. You know, when these alternative indices started in the business years ago, they were very proprietary. Yeah, it's great they're exclusive, but it was frankly tough to get information, right? There was not a lot of great marketing collateral, very few websites. At Athene, we take pride in developing relationships with investment bank partners that like to provide great marketing collateral, consumer-facing material, websites that are transparent, and those are coming here shortly with these two new indices. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of new names here, which we're going to focus on. One is HSBC. We partnered with them to develop one new index that we're launching today. And by the way, we're in conjunction with IBM Watson, and those are two brands that I believe are unique, very reputable, and we'll talk more about that IBM Watson technology in a moment. Of course, BNP Paribas we've had for several years. That's been a great performer. Last year did a great year for them in terms of performance. And then the second new index is brought to us by Bank of America, one of the largest household bank names, not only in this country, but internationally as well. And then again, that is using the NASDAQ, which is very unique. It's the first index, I believe, to use solely NASDAQ as its index. I put all three of these together, sort of a bit of a preview, a teaser, if you will. We are in the process of going through some efficient frontier analysis, which basically is looking at does a consumer get better value by combining or having 2 to 3 strategies at once versus just one. And I've seen some of the results, and I'm not surprised by them, but what I am is it's confirming what I've always thought to be true. It is far better for your clients to be participating in a couple of these, at least 2, possibly 3 indices that complement one another like these do, than it is to just have one index that they're participating in. When you combine several indices within one product, whether it's accumulation or income, you increase the chance of a positive gain and you dramatically decrease the chance of them getting a zero ever. So we're going to start publishing this information in the near future, and I think you're going to love what you see. It's great client-facing material, and it really, again, it brings credibility to you as well as the advisor. So stay tuned for that. So let's dig into some of these new ones. We'll start with the HSBC one. First, just a couple of quick words on who they are. Clearly, if you have not heard of them, I'd be shocked. A true global brand and identity, founded in 1865. They're the 7th largest bank in the world. They actually issue the Hong Kong dollar, believe it or not. They issue currency as well. Top 50 most recognizable global brand across the planet. 235,000 employees. So big, strong, old, all the great hallmarks of a bank that you expect to have, and certainly a partner as well. This index uses, believe it or not, IBM Watson. If that rings a bell, when I think of IBM Watson, I think of AI, right? There's artificial intelligence. IBM Watson, if you'll recall, years ago beat that chess champion, and then a couple of years after that beat the Jeopardy champion, right? That was kind of a funny way to apply AI. The reality is artificial intelligence, whether we like it or not, is all around us. We rely on it day in, day out. Every time you use your iPhone, every time you talk to Alexa, every time you type in a Google search, industries are using AI to help improve our daily lives. And a couple of interesting points. The reality is, the larger that the internet and things like that become, the more staggering you start to think about how can we keep track? How can we possibly keep track of all the information at our fingertips? In fact, by some measures, 90% of the data that exists today has been created in just the last 2 years. Think about that. And it's going to continue to explode at an exponential pace. So coupled within that are comments about about stocks, about bonds, about companies, about the markets. How can an analyst, or even a room of analysts, possibly keep track of all the data that explodes each and every day? That's why we need to use AI to help compile all that information. Frankly, a lot of this data is not traditional anymore. There's no, just it's not a newspaper article or TV commercial, social media posts, satellite imagery, website traffic. These things have to be analyzed, and AI does that each and every day. And the best thing about this technology, particularly IBM Watson, is they're the first and most reputable brand in this space. It continuously learns amongst what it reads and looks at each and every day. So just again, a couple of different ways that AI is being used literally 24/7. The Mayo Clinic uses it to improve their breast cancer early screening results, which match patients with clinical trials. The Defense Department uses it in terms of identity, facial recognition software. Then of course, we have the online search as well. Every time you type something into your laptop, your phone, it starts learning about what you're searching for and sends to you recommendations the next time you're there. So Apex is the new index that we've created with HSBC using the IBM Watson technology to turn data into investment insight, right? Let's deliver this technology that we live with every day, and let's use that to help drive growth in an index strategy. So we take the unique insights of IBM Watson to continuously learn and analyze millions of pieces of traditional and non-traditional data each and every day. We take a look at the 1,000 largest U.S. publicly traded company. And in order to find those whose stock prices are poised for growth, and we rebalance that portfolio monthly, right? So we look at the 1,000 largest U.S. equities. Now, I'll tell you how we screen through that in just a moment. And then around that, we layer risk control, right? We target a daily volatility of 6%. So again, if you've heard me talk about volatility control over the last several years, we know that 6% number, that's going to kind of perform akin to the BNP Paribas strategy, right? That's sort of your steady Eddie strategy. That's not your home run index. That'll be the next one we talk about. But this is a 100% all equity strategy that has that volatility target of 6% around it. So how do we choose the stocks? It's really a three-step process, and this happens automatically, okay? We take a look at the 1,000 largest U.S. companies. We look at their financial health score. It evaluates each company's fundamentals. It does this every day. Well, I can't emphasize that enough. If you take 20 analysts, there's no way they could possibly do this for this many companies on a daily basis. So we look at their financial health score. We look at their news and information score, right? This measures each company's market sentiment. Is there good news? Is there bad news? Economic and geopolitical risks. We look at the management score. We assess each company's strength and thought leadership. We then identify the top 250 scored companies, and we diversify among those. So the highest scored companies get the most exposure, then on down the line for that 250. We then take a look at that and we reallocate every single day. So this is a daily rebalancing. So again, the key points with this index: the first and only index to use IBM Watson artificial intelligence, which will continually learn and get better, which will improve performance each and every day this thing is working. Continuously learns from millions of pieces of data each day. And it's a pure play equity index, right? So if we're in an indexed annuity and we know we can't lose any money, we like the idea of having 100% equity exposure. There's no bond trigger here at all. So it's a pure equity play. And again, I think from a return perspective, I would expect sort of BNP MAD 5 returns when you look at the profile here. This is going across all the products we have on the national side of the portfolio. We have both 1 and 2 year designs. I don't have the rates, but I would urge you to call Scott at IMES or his team, or even go online. All the rates are out there. So that's the first index. That's the breakdown. That's the mechanics behind it. We've got a lot of great brochures that talk about how this works and why we've developed it the way we did. It's very unique. The only index using IBM Watson. So that's an exclusive relationship. So this next one, that's the first index. The second new index is brought to us via Bank of America. Again, serving 1 in 3 U.S. households is remarkable. Number 1 in consumer deposits, 9 million business owner clients. One of the top brands, certainly in this country. To me, if I look at sort of the profile of indexes or indices and how they're designed to return, Again, as I mentioned before, we got the BNP, we've got the AI powered one we just talked about, IBM Watson. In one side of the return profile, to me, this is your home run index. This would be sort of your Janus, your new Janus, if you will. Although I think the way this is designed is going to be much better, and you'll see why in a few moments. The first thing I look at is the index that we're using. So we're not picking, like the last one, we're not picking individual stocks or positions. We're simply pegging our performance to an index. And the index that we've chosen is the NASDAQ. And you'll see, you look at some of these companies that make up the NASDAQ. And when I first heard the NASDAQ, the word that popped into my head was technology. Right? I just assumed, oh, it's a technology play. The reality is that's not the truth. Yes, there are technology companies that make up the NASDAQ, but there's companies like Starbucks, for instance, that are in there as well. So we look at like three different categories in the NASDAQ. We've got sort of your modern industrials, right? Sort of the new Dow Jones, if you will. Businesses that are highly profitable, generate cash, pay dividends, Microsoft, Cisco, Dell. Then we've got leaders and innovators, right? A lot of brand recognition, high performers, innovation, Starbucks in that category, Amazon for sure, Google. And then we have sort of this other category, this emerging tech, sort of the disruptors in the space, Airbnb, Uber, as in a few examples. But just think about this for a minute. I look at the Dow or the S&P. Look, just the stocks, just the companies that we've talked about here, right? I mean, who hasn't owned something from Microsoft over the course of their life? Who doesn't use Google on a daily, if not hourly basis? Who doesn't use Amazon ever? I watch Netflix. I travel for a living. I watch Netflix all the time when I'm at airports. Apple, Starbucks, Uber. I mean, for all intents and purposes, in my view, the NASDAQ 100 is the new Dow. These are companies that are around us every day that we use. So why not have a strategy that can utilize the growth in this index? Not for nothing, but the last 12 years, the NASDAQ outperformed the S&P in 10 of those years. So clearly these are companies that are reputable, have great brands we use every day, but they perform. I think that's important. So we're using sort of a rules-based three-step process for this. This is where we're going to access the NASDAQ 100, one of the world's preeminent large-cap growth indices. We're going to apply what's called fast convergence, or FC technology. That's patent pending volatility control. I'll explain how that works in just a moment. And then we're going to go employ a performance control mechanism, kind of like we did in the Janus, where you have that 4% monthly cap within the index that seeks to allow us to provide better returns or better rates for the client that will generate better returns. So let's talk about how this works. So again, as I mentioned before, 10 of the last 12 years, the NASDAQ actually beat the S&P 500, which as we all know is sort of the bellwether index and index strategies. It's still the most popular. Just know that the NASDAQ performs better, at least it has over the last, close to a decade. But we all know, and this talks about the flash crash that happened back in 2010. But I mean, heck, we saw something like this last week with the coronavirus fears, right? The market took a steep dive, over 650 points or 600 points in a day. Much of that happening literally on an hourly basis. So how do we lessen our exposure, right? Remember I mentioned that term, fast convergence, right? We've all seen index strategies out there that rebalance. Some do it on a monthly basis. Some of the more aggressive ones, or the more thoughtful ones, if you will, do a daily rebalance, right? The more you rebalance, the more smooth the ride will be for everybody, right? Using fast convergence virtually that doesn't eliminate it totally, but it decreases your exposure to crashes like this, right? We use hourly rebalancing in this strategy. Every single hour in the trading day, we monitor for volatility and we'll reallocate accordingly. So now, do the markets always spike up and down hourly? No, but we've seen that they do, right? As evidenced by last week. Here's the flash crash, for example. And if we're not rebalancing till the end of the trading day, well, we've just exposed ourselves to a huge negative, right? In this example, the flash crash, it crashed 8% in 36 minutes. So if you don't rebalance to the end of that day, you could be tremendously exposed to the negative there, right? But if you're doing it every hour, you're going to limit that exposure. The reality is fragility is the new volatility. Yes, markets have been great. but it doesn't take much to spark a little fear in the marketplace, and boom, next thing you know, we're south 500 points in less than an hour. So let's take a look at a specific time. This was 3 trading days in August 2015, where the NASDAQ and other markets, frankly, as well, fell over 10% over 3 trading days. And here we have one example of just the 124-hour period. You can see starts at 100, the index level, and drops considerably. That's the actual live index itself. Now, we can limit our exposure to that. If we rebalance daily, we can adjust, right? So here, what this slide shows is that daily, a daily readjust. So here's the day one. We see there's a huge correction, that orange line, and we see we've been exposed. Everything above that line, if you will, is quote unquote exposure, but we've rebalanced, right? So at the end of that first trading day, we've adjusted down, and now again the market's correcting down huge again. End of that day, we've been exposed, but again we can adjust down, right? So the reality is it still exposes us to tremendous drawdowns when things get very volatile. So what we do again is we employ hourly rebalancing with this, and that's the light blue line. It literally almost follows the orange line down a lot more closely. So we're eliminating much of the risk associated when the markets get extremely volatile. And that's important. When we have a home run type strategy that is designed to provide outsized gains, but by nature, because it's a sort of a feast famine design, you could probably get a zero as well. We need to try to limit those as much as possible. So this allows the ride to be much smoother, and frankly, the pricing we deliver to the clients is better as a result. This looks another way. Again, there's a kind of a lot going on here, but if you look at the gray line, that's your typical volatility of your within your daily volatility in an index. The tight blue range is hourly rebalancing. So you see how much it tightens it up, right? So again, the more you rebalance, the more stable things are from a pricing, from a return perspective, and the more we can provide better rates to your client. So again, key takeaways here. Again, accessing a benchmark, the NASDAQ, with a history of outperformance, a long history of outperformance in companies that will perform long term, applying the fast convergence technology to rebalance quicker than any other index in the market that exists today, with the goal of really lessening drawdown performance. And again, employing that performance control that allows us to give better rates to the client. So again, Scott, I'm going to step back. Those are, again, high-level, quick looks at our 2 new indices, and I'm happy to kick it over to you just to kind of summarize. A lot of information. We'll give you the slides. Give us a call. Call our sales desk. We can talk you through how these things work. We can give you material, websites, all sorts of great stuff to teach your clients about them. Look, at the end of the day, they're buying you, right? They're not buying necessarily a product because of index X or Y. They're buying you because you're the one they trust. Just know that these indices will perform for you and your clients. And just to sort of frame it, give you the perspective. If you've been selling the BNP, the Janus, as you look at the 2 new indices, I view the HSBC AI one as sort of your BNP type performer. And you'll notice the rates will be a little better there too because it's more conservative. Again, I put the Bank of America NASDAQ one in more of the home run capacity, right? That's more of your Janus type index. You're going to get a much larger number potential, but you also can get a zero, right? That's why I believe using a combination of these with the BNP, it's a great combination, right? You've got 2 all equity strategies. And you've got the MAD 5, which is a multi-asset strategy as well, right? Commodities, bonds as well. The one thing I did not mention, which I will, I want to just again give you that perspective. I mentioned the volatility number on the AI one was 6, just to give an idea of, again, the performance-driven nature of the Bank of America one. The volatility target there is 12.5%. So over 10, over 12%. Which incidentally is the volatility target of the NASDAQ 100 itself. So look at it this way. You get the ability to capture much of the NASDAQ return with none of the risk, right? We've got an indexed annuity. We've got a great strategy that's innovative. Again, just to give you some additional perspective on that one, last year, calendar year, it did just under 25% on a gross basis. So when you go online after this and look at the rates, just subtract out the participation rates from that number, and that gives you an idea of how this thing performed or how it could perform in a good year. So, Scott, a lot of information, but I'm happy to entertain questions or comments about anything at this point.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much for the time, Mac, and the presentation. I mean, that's really, really exciting information. I mean, anybody that saw this should, be really, really excited for their clientele and where business with Athene is going to go. Um, I've got a couple questions came in. Look like we have some pretty good Athene advisors on with us right now, so happy about that.
Great.
Um, Question specific to pending business that's in the house right now. If it was
Mm-hmm.
applied for with the Janus or with the Morningstar, is it going to issue with that? Or are they going to have to make some changes? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And I would say short answer is yes. They applied for it, they'll get it. I do believe there's transition rules that we can send around to the group, Scott, that we put out there.
Sure.
But I'm fairly certain, unless there's going to be a long tail with the money coming over from another company or account, that you'll be fine. Again, we don't want to give a strategy the client didn't apply for.
Sure.
So the goal is to get them all issued the way they apply. But again, there are rules out there. Transition rules rather. So we'll make sure the group gets those, and that'll answer specifically the time frames.
Absolutely. I'll take this one real quick. I do have a couple of questions that came in looking for the rates specifically. When I get the list of attendees, I will get you rates, the Athene rates out. They were just published publicly today.
Correct.
I've previewed them previously with Mac. They're very, very strong. Um, if you were liking where the Janus was, or you're going to be real comfortable here. But I will get those rates out to everyone. Um, do have a question coming in specific to the agility contract. I mean, one of your
Mm-hmm.
top sellers. With
Sure.
this change, are we making any material changes to that contract? Are we still going to get the bonus and the enhanced participation during deferral? Is all that staying in place?
Oh yeah. So nothing at all is changing from a product perspective. The only thing we're doing is adding these two new indices, removing the three that I talked about at the beginning across the portfolio. So the agility, the contract itself, the one that you're selling yesterday is still the same agility today. We just have a few new indices to offer you. That's all.
Good,
Nothing else changes.
good. That being said, I think that kind of wraps up the questions that I had come in for everyone on the line. As we call to follow up with you on this, if there are any new questions that pop up, let myself or one of my sales directors know. If we don't know the answer, we'll get with Mac or his team in Iowa and get you the answer. We're very much committed to making sure you've got all your questions answered to be able to package this well in your sales presentations. So thank you everyone for your time. Mac, thank you very much for taking time out of your day. I know it's busy there right now. Any parting comments for the group?
Just a couple, if you don't mind, Scott. I mean, look, everybody, this is it's a big day. There's a lot going on for sure. It's a lot to roll out a new index. We just rolled out two, so a lot of information. I'll echo a couple of Scott's comments. There was. Please call us with any questions you have. There's going to be enough, as much, if not more, marketing collateral that's consumer facing that you'll be able to use to deliver or help deliver the message for your clients and your prospects. But don't hesitate to call me or Rob Johnson or Scott and his team at IAMS as well. We've met with these investment banks for months, and we've got great relationships there. We're confident that you'll like the performance you see when you add these to the portfolio. And again, I guess the one closing thought, and just be on the lookout for this efficient frontier analysis that we're going to do. We think it's game changing. We think it basically will show you the return profile of using one strategy versus multiple ones at once. And I think if you're not using multiple strategies, I would urge you that you do that. We've got a lot of great complementary strategies, including these two here, that can help deliver good results for you and your clients. So, Scott, with that, thanks for your time, and I'll let you close it.
Hey, thank you all, or thank you very much, Mac. Appreciate the kind words as always. Again, everyone who took 55 minutes out of your day to join us, we know that that's 55 minutes where you are not out actively selling and prospecting, so we greatly appreciate it. Go out, have a great sales day, everyone. Look forward to speaking with you soon.